My name is Russell. I make $40,000 every single month from high ticket sales. And for the last hour and a half, I was upstairs in my room filming a full A to Z training on how you can get into high ticket sales and go from making minimum wage, making zero, to making $10,000 a month. Now, before you even watch that, this is not easy. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not something where you can expect to make $30,000 your first month. And I want you to understand that before you even move forward. This video should be the only video that you need if you want to go out and actually become successful in DM setting, closing, and go to making, probably $8,000 to $10,000 a month. So if that's something that you want to do, just go ahead and watch the video. Put this video in full screen, take notes, because please guys, I can't stress this enough. This could really change your life. I put together everything that I wish I knew before I even got into high ticket sales. So without further ado, I'm pretty proud of this one, so I hope you guys enjoy. High ticket sales is an absolutely, truly life-changing opportunity for each and every one of you that want to take it that way. I've been doing high ticket sales personally for about 7 months, and recently it allowed me to make $15,900 in just 15 days. And guys, I want to highlight a few things that, number one, make this the best business model for you to learn as a complete beginner and go from minimum wage to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. And guys, trust me, from a person who's tried every single business model out there, this is the only possible business model / skill that you can learn and have the ability to make $10,000 to $20,000 a month every single month in the next 6 months. Without experience, doesn't matter the age, location, or starting capital. And the best thing about this business model is it's not like all the other ones. It's not like dropshipping. It's not like a marketing agency. It's not like anything. And listen, I know everybody comes out and says that, so let me actually show it to you. This is a graph I threw together really quick of every single one of the business models on the top of my head and all the different things about them. We got an agency, we got copywriting, we have e-com, and we have sales. So right away, we can see that having an agency and being in e-commerce is absolutely not beginner friendly. You need to have a ton of skills to be able to go in there and actually make even a couple $1,000s. Going down the list, we see one of the pros is that, most of these do require low starting capital. However, when we look at having high profit margins, having an agency and having an e-com store is absolutely not profitable. And when we look at scalable, something like copywriting can't be scaled to $20,000, $30,000. Even in saturation, all three of those things, having an agency, being a copywriter, being in e-commerce, these things are all thrown around like it's nothing, and they're 100% saturated. So that's the good thing about sales. Every single one of these boxes is checked. It's beginner friendly. It doesn't require that much capital to start. It has a high profit margin, 100% to be exact, and it's 100% not saturated. In fact, I bet the majority of you have almost never heard this before. Another pro is you don't need all this fancy stuff to start. Literally the only thing that you need is your phone, internet, and willing to put the hard work in the next 90 days of your life, because there's no point in putting things off. I forget what Chinese book this is from, but the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. And listen, I know it already is coming off like it's too good to be true. So before you think this isn't real, because trust me, when I was first starting, I would have absolutely thought it wasn't real. I'm going to tell you how I'm able to make $40,000 every single month. And no, it isn't because I got lucky. Now listen, first, before I even go into all this, you need to know who I am. Because you might be asking yourself already, what can this kid teach me about making money online? So just for a little bit of context, my name is Russell. I live in New Jersey, lived here my whole life. And one of the things that a lot of people know about me is, yes, I am 16 years old. Now with that being said, I still make more than $40,000 a month. So clearly I know something that the majority of America doesn't. Now I want to go into what kind of things I've tried in the past, because listen guys, this isn't a one-hit wonder. This isn't I tried something and instantly hit it big. I've tried multiple things and failed multiple things in the past. So let me go into those. Number one is dropshipping. I tried dropshipping for a good 2 to 3 months. This was the first thing I tried. And I bet you if you've tried online business before, this is one of the things that you've tried, because it's just a term that's thrown around so wildly. On the screen, I have a couple pictures. It was fun going back in time to my camera roll. These are a couple pictures from when I tried dropshipping. These are some pictures of my stores. As you can see, I have this item, hold your phone and can clip it anywhere. 0 sales. I have the romantic lamp. 0 sales. And I have hype cable. I think it was like some charging cable. Again, 0 sales. I finished off dropshipping with 0 sales total in a 3-month endeavor. because there was just so many skills that I was required to know before I even got into it. So I was kind of set up for failure in the first part. The next one is reselling AirPods. And again, I did this one after I failed the dropshipping store. So all of these are in timeline order. As you can see, I had it on my Snapchat story. Tap in, man. They're only $80. I ended up actually selling some of these. I think I made about $800 before I realized it was fraud. And I probably shouldn't be selling replica AirPods. So that one was thrown out the door. As well as me realizing it wasn't scalable. I can't sell $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 profit worth of AirPods every month. Then I tried trading crypto. I don't even want to talk about this one. You can tell by the graph how this one went terrible. The last thing I tried before I hit is I had a clothing brand. And this one I had since, I believe, 2 summers ago. And 2 summers ago, I ran it pretty much all summer. And hey, I made some money. I made about $5,000 in revenue. However, that's no profit, because when you're in the clothing brand world or when you're in e-commerce, the problem is the profit margin is so slim. So I sold $5,000 worth of shirts, and I believe I literally went negative just because of how much I was paying for shipping, how much I was paying for product and things like that. But on the screen, I mean, you can see some of my designs. You can see me shipping out some of the packages, one of them pictures of my Shopify store. And yeah, that's pretty much that. And now I want to talk about what I am doing now and what I've been doing for the last 7 months. I've been doing high ticket sales. And if you look at the screen, you'll be able to see some of the cool stuff I've been able to do just being in high ticket sales for 7 months. First and foremost, I went to Miami, got on a pretty cool podcast with Cardo Mason, met a few cool people. If you want to watch that, it's on my page. Filmed some cool stuff, went to a couple cool dinners, bought some cool stuff, took a ton of calls, bought a Rolex, and honestly just fulfilled some sort of inner desire of mine that I wanted to make money online for so long. So I want to stress that this is a great opportunity, but I also want to explain to you guys why this is such a great opportunity. For one, it is insanely big. The market size of online education business, what you will be selling for other people, was $38.72 billion, and that's 2 years ago. It's even projected to grow to $270 billion by 2031. And guys, there's a ton of reasons for this, but number one, content creators are the modern businessmen. The people that you see on my screen, Andrew Tate, Iman Gadzhi, Cardinal Mason, Ty Lopez, among other people. These people are making millions of dollars every single year by selling something to other people, selling education, things that these other people just can't get from anywhere. And these people that you just saw on my screen, they all have one thing in common. They make a lot of money with their course. Whether you want to call it a course, a mentorship, whatever it may be. And again, that has a negative connotation, but it shouldn't. Because a lot of the times these people do help people, and they do have cases where they'll make these people a lot of money. However, all these people that you saw on that last screen are making at least $5 to $10 million a year through these offers or courses, mentorships, whatever you want to call it. And obviously these people are not doing everything themselves. Everything from creating the content, closing the deals, everything from the copywriting, the content, the advertising, the closing the deals, the fulfillment, the coaching. They can't do all of this. It is not possible to do all this for hundreds of students every single year. It's not possible. If they want to make more money, they have to learn the art of delegation. So what do? These guys hire people that are going to make them more money. People to make their funnels, people to copyright for them. And what we're looking at is people to sell for them. Because listen, without sales, there is no business. Without people to bring the money in, actually close the deals, there's no business in the first place. There's no customers. There's no people to actually fulfill upon. The whole business is gone. So sales is absolutely the backbone and the forefront for every single one of these businesses. And another pro from actually being in high ticket sales is, you make the amount of work that you put in. For example, if you put in a ton of work and you take calls every day, it's not too hard to make 10 grand a month if you know what you're doing. And that's hence why working hard is actually very, very important, especially for sales. As you can see here, a little graphic I threw together. Things like agencies get paid per month. They get paid on retainers. Hey, we'll pay you 1.5K this month if you do this. In sales, you get paid per sale. You get paid on commission. You get paid per the amount of work that you're actually putting in the first place. And why that's so great is because there's no cap to how much that you can actually make. If you want to go in and make 2K a month, you can do that. You want to go in and make 5K a month, you can do that. You want to make 20 or 30K a month, you can do that. There isn't a cap to this. Now, those are some of the pros of getting into high ticket sales, but I understand that you guys don't even really understand what it actually is and what the action of high ticket sales is in the first place. So I want to show you an example of what this could look like, and I'm going to make it something that you guys, every single one of you, will understand. So I'm sure you guys know who Iman Gadzhi is. I'm sure you know he sells a program called Educate to teach people how to run agencies, among other things. So let's say Jason, some random guy, spots Iman Gadzhi and he wants to buy his course. Jason wants to learn how to build his own agency. So Jason sees one of Iman's videos, he goes over to his website, he reads his little text, he watches his video, and then he ends up booking a call. As you can see on the right side of that screen, he books a discovery call so that he can go and learn more about this program. Now what happens is when Jason opens this Zoom meeting, a closer or a sales rep will also log into the call, and they will ask Jason a couple questions. Now the goal of this call is to get Jason to understand his goals and what's stopping him in the first place from actually getting there. And then the closer will close Jason, and you, the closer, get paid. Now I want you to imagine, because somebody like Iman Gadzhi has millions of views every single month and millions of followers across all his platforms, how many Jasons there are, because there's so many of them. There are millions of people just like Jason who have the amount of money it takes to actually start this business, and they want somebody like Iman's help. All that's separating that is a closer to go in and actually close that deal. I mean, it sounds relatively simple, right? For every deal that you close, you'll get 10 to 20% of the total. For example, you close a $5,000 deal, you're gonna make about $1,000 commission. And the great thing about this is that you can repeat it. You can take 5 or 10 calls a day, even more if you'd like. Meaning if you close just one $2,500 deal every single day, you will make $15,000 every single month. If you're taking 10 calls a day, that's a 10% close rate. The industry standard is at 30, and somebody like me, I do 80%. It is not that hard to go in there, close one deal a day, and make 15 grand a month. Now that's if you know what you're doing, and if you have the time to commit, and if you're willing to put the hard work in, because for the first few months, you're not gonna come in here and make 15,000. It's pretty difficult. But the good thing is it's just like riding a bike, and once you get it, you have it. For example, these are some of my statistics. As a student in high school, taking 1 to 2 calls a day. Don't worry about a lot of this stuff up top. What I want you to worry about is that I have closed 30 deals, generated $112,000 this month for the business I'm working with a 79% close rate, meaning I brought in more than $15,000. And finally, now that I hope you understand how great of an opportunity this is, I'm going to teach you a few ways that you can actually get into this today and land your very first role. Now, before I go ahead and do that and teach you how you can land your first role as a closer, I want to make something abruptly clear. I know it sounds easy, and I know I've been telling you that you can hop in as a closer and make so much money, and you can, but the easiest way to actually start closing is to first start off as a setter. I want you to get your feet wet before you hop on these Zoom calls and you start closing deals. I want you to get familiar with the sales process, and I want you to get familiar with actually how these clients are getting on the calls in the first place. Because a lot of the time, they aren't just clicking a link and booking that call. People like Iman, for example, they need to make sure that Jason actually has the money to go ahead and buy their program. Otherwise, they're wasting everybody's time. They have to make sure that Jason's qualified. They have to make sure that he's serious. He's urgent. He has the money. He's ready to go. Otherwise, what is the point of getting him on a call in the first place? Now, obviously, Iman Gadzhi isn't sitting in his DMs and answering every single person and going, hey, do you have this money? Blah, 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 whatever it may be. There's other people that do that. And even though you might think that Iman Gadzhi is texting you back and forth, he's not. It's what's called a DM setter. What a DM setter does is he goes in, he talks as Iman, and he actually sets that deal. And now what I'll do is I'll break down what a DM setter actually does, so that when I go ahead and teach you how to do outreach, how to land your first role, you can go in and land a role as a setter, get familiarized with the whole system, still make $3,000 to $5,000 a month, if not $7,000 to $10,000 a month, if not $20,000 a month, like one of the students in my program. And then from there, you can find your way closing as well. Because I don't want to just teach you closing when there's so much more to the high ticket sales world. So I have another situation here. Now let's say Timmy goes ahead and DMs Cardinal Mason the word start because he wants to start his copywriting business. Let's say Cardinal Mason had something in his bio and it said, DM me start if you want to become a copywriter. So Timmy goes in, he DMs Mason the word start, and Mason starts texting him back and forth. Now in this case, guys, I want to make it clear, Mason is actually a DM setter. And that's fine. That doesn't mean these guys are fraudsters. It just doesn't mean they have that much time on their hands. Now, what you'll be doing as a setter is you'll be talking to Timmy, asking Timmy a couple questions about himself. You got to make sure he has the funds. You got to make sure that he's serious about what he's doing and that he's urgent. You know, he's not waiting 2 years before he actually gets starting with this. Then what you do is you go ahead and book them a call. Once Timmy logs on the call, that's where the closer will come in and he'll actually close that deal like we just talked about. So now that you know everything about setting, everything about closing, and you have all this information, now and only now I'll go ahead and teach you how you can actually land your first couple rolls. And listen, you've been going strong, you've been watching the video for 20-30 minutes, but now is the time to not lose focus. 97% of your peers have clicked off the video by now. And they're gonna be failures. If they can't focus for a half an hour video, how do they ever expect to succeed? So lock back in, put this video back in full screen. I need you taking notes on this part because this is where a lot of people fail. They know the skill, they know all about it, but they can't land their first roll. So I'm gonna teach you a couple easy ways where you can go out and do that. So I'll teach you one of the best ways to actually go out and land an offer. It's called the keyword method or the Trojan horse method. It's just a couple of the names that it goes by. And this hasn't really been spoken a lot online. I believe this video is gonna be one of the only places that you'll be able to find this. So again, make sure to focus. This is a really foolproof way where you can go in and land your first offer. So I'm gonna go on Instagram here and I'm gonna show you guys what you actually do for the keyword method. The best place to do outreach, by the way, outreach is gonna be how you land these roles. The best place to do that is on Instagram. So step one, make sure you have a good looking profile. If your profile looks like an idiot and you're smoking and you're drinking and you're doing dumb stuff, you aren't gonna land a role because what business owner is gonna hire you? Make sure it's dialed in. Mine isn't a perfect example, but my Instagram's pretty solid. If you wanna look at it, it's gonna be in the bio. While you're there, make sure to drop me a follow. Okay, but let me show you what outreach is gonna look like and what the keyword method's gonna look like. So number one, the first thing you're gonna do is actually go to somebody's profile. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off by looking up some creator that has an offer already. Some good examples of this might be people like Cardinal Mason, people like Mr. 4-8, people like Eddie Cumberbatch, people like Rob Oliver, people like Jimmy Farley. And all of these people and a ton more are great examples of who you should go and start on their profile with. Now, the guy I'm looking at is a guy named Ecom Hitch. This is the guy that I'm gonna start with. So for somebody like Ecom Hitch, it looks like he teaches people how to transition into Amazon FBA in 5 months. And in his bio, we see that it says DM me locked to start. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off at a main profile. Somebody like this who already has followers, has a keyword in their bio, DM me locked, locked is the keyword. And you're gonna click that button next to message. And I'll put it on the screen so that you guys can see. That's the suggested profile button, and you're gonna see a ton of other people that are just like Hish, or just like whoever you're on, that all run offers and might all need DM setters. So now over here, I find somebody called J Park Ecom. And in his bio, it says DM me mentor to get started. Now what you'll do is you'll DM him mentor, he'll probably end up responding, or an AI will respond. Now, what's good to know is that sometimes when an AI responds, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to break through that because obviously an AI is not hiring you as a DM setter or a closer. So you're honestly just gonna have to follow along with whatever questions the AI is asking you. And once they stop responding instantly, you'll know you're not talking to an AI anymore. And you can go ahead and wait for their next response and text them, hey, I'm actually a DM setter, I'm actually a closer. I'm really just wondering if you need any other members on your team at the moment. And the reason this works so well is because you're honestly Trojan horsing into their offer. And listen, it sucks for some of these business owners and a lot of the times they'll get pretty mad, but the reason they're getting mad is because it worked. You broke through their system, you reached them, and if they need a DM setter or a closer, they'll honestly be happy and they'll probably end up interviewing you or even hiring you. Now, once we DM J Park, we'll click the button again, scroll through, find somebody else. Someone like Santiago, DM to learn now, DM him, follow the same exact process, click the button next to his name, find more people, and you're off. And you just do this to as many people as possible, ideally 50 to 75 a day, and I wouldn't stop until you land an offer. Now that you landed an offer, what I wanna do is I wanna actually show you how to do the action of DM setting, and then I also wanna teach you how to do the action of closing. So what this is gonna look like is this is how you are going to book calls for this creators. Once you're in their inbox, once they hire you, you'll see DMs coming in, people texting, for example, thumbs, or for example, whatever keyword that they're texting. And this is a script that's on the screen now. What's best is to make yourself sound like a human. Don't make yourself sound like an automation, right? You can edit the words in this, edit things left and right. Make sure to appeal to the conversation and make it sound like you're a real person. You're not a robot. But for this, it says, hey, appreciate the initiative reaching out. Is it cool if I ask a couple questions first? This is because we are extremely selective of who we bring in. Then you go ahead and ask them for a little bit more context about themselves, their work, their age, where they're based, what got them interested in having a mentor in the first place. They go along to tell you, then you ask them some of their goals. You ask them some of the things that, they'll need to actually make it happen. Now, what's important and what's actually left out of this doc is make sure to ask them, how much they have to invest to. And a good way to do that without sounding like you're scounging for money, if that's a real word, is just be like, yeah, that's definitely a realistic goal. We could absolutely get you to that point, but I want to be clear, it definitely requires, time, dedication, and, even a little bit of an initial investment. And then ask them, simply, I guess, like, how much capital do they have set aside that they'd be able to invest if everything was perfect? Let's say the offer's $4,000. As long as they have more than $4,000, they're good to go. Now we figured out if they're serious, we figured out their budget, we figured out all those things. And as you can see here, we go ahead and we give them a shot at a call. We throw on with a closer, and the closer goes ahead and closes that deal. Now that is how your DM should look when you're actually doing the action of DM setting. And listen, I'll be honest with you guys, DM setting's easier than closing. It's not that hard, right? We could bring people in and pretty much anybody can appointment set. However, what's more difficult is closing, and closing will take you a few months to get down, and it'll be pretty difficult to learn off of YouTube or even in some coaching programs. It'll be kind of difficult to learn. DM setting, it can be learned, right? It's relatively difficult. The hardest part is going to be finding an offer, so make sure not to give up. Really go in there and do outreach every single day until you land one. And now, I'm going to show you a little bit more about closing. Because as a closer, once you land that role, you actually have to go in and close the deal. So real quick, and for the first time ever, I'm going to show you guys a full call recording of me doing this. And this is for another offer, for another company, the exact same way that you guys would be doing it. But first, because I'll show you that, but before I show you that, I want to make sure you know what to look out for and what to take notes on in this recording. What I was mainly looking to know from this guy and from anybody else is who they are, how much do they want to make in the first place, what is stopping them from actually making that on their own, have they tried something else in the past? And then you go in, you pitch, and you close the deal. So I'm about to show the recording, but real quick, right before I do that, I want to show you guys some of the numbers that my students are doing. Because you don't have to work with me, and I want to be pretty clear, I'm not even sure if I can help you in the first place. Because you might have a completely different learning style, and you might need a completely different set of things. But for a lot of you, I probably can help you skip the line. For example, it's like walking to work or driving to work, and I'm pretty much going to be putting you in a jet engine and flying you to work. But it's not necessary, and if you guys want to go and learn on your own, you absolutely can. However, just so that you know what you're missing out on, these are a couple of my students. There's countless wins that you can view in the other videos on my YouTube, you can view on my Instagram, you can view on my Twitter, but for now, I just want to highlight 2 wins. One from my student Luke Bravo and one from my student Morris. Luke Bravo, as you can see in this screenshot, he started 10 weeks ago, and he's 12 days into September, he already made $10,000. Meaning that he's probably going to break $17,000 to $20,000 this month. Luke is only DM setting, and he's only doing it on 3 offers. Another person's Morris. Morris made over $9,000 this month, and he's only been working with us for a little bit over a month. Meaning that he'll probably break $10,000 to $20,000 next month. Now, like I said, there's too many wins for me to even highlight in this video. Those are just 2 of them. And if you want to join that crew, and again, it's completely up to you, and I'm not even sure if we can help you yet, but if you're interested at all, just make sure to DM me the word remote on either Instagram or Twitter, and I'll see if this is something that we might be able to help you with in the first place. So yeah, that is pretty much a full, concise training of how to go from appointment setting, how to go from closing, and how to go from, most importantly, making no money online, being completely minimum wage, completely corporate, whatever you're doing right now, to making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month online by learning one simple skill. And I hope you enjoyed the video because it's the first one that I've really put a ton of effort into. And now, because listen, I know you guys have been waiting for it, I'm going to show you the full recording. Put your video in full screen, take notes. I cannot stress enough how important this is. You're watching somebody with an 80% close rate who collected $100,000 last month close somebody. And if you take notes on this thoroughly and you really write down exactly what I'm doing, you might be able to do it yourself. So yeah, I'll play the recording. I appreciate you guys. Remember, if you want to learn, you can DM me remote. And I hope you guys can do exactly what I've done. Okay, so first I want to know, I mean, what got you interested in TikTok affiliate, like in the first place? You're a fitness trainer. It's a little bit different. But what got you interested in it?
I mean, so I've had TikTok for a couple of years now,
Right.
and you know, just scrolling through, and then recently, like probably 2 or 3 months ago, I came across my is it
I'm not sure which one.
Yeah. And I came across his like quick little intro, like, hey, you know, you want to make this much money and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is like one of those. It's like, oh, it's not little pyramid scheme thing. Like a lot of people are advertising this kind of thing. And but I listened to his video and I looked in the comments, and the thing that kind of stuck out to me is in the comments, everyone that's kind of doubting him, he had a video that he made for every comment that was kind of shooting him. Instead of just saying like, hey, DM me, or like, hey, no, like look into it, do like go to this link. He had a video for that, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like usually you don't see people do that.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So I kind of kept watching his videos, and I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm good. I don't think I'm gonna do it. And then like I don't know if you're very religious at all or anything like that, but I kept praying for like my financial situation and stuff like that. And then Michael's little page kept coming up every day on my For You page, and I'm like, man, you know, maybe I should check it out. So I bought the $9 or like the $27 little plan to go through the modules.
Right.
And, okay, this is pretty in depth. Like it seems legitimate. Like it's a legit business. It's brand new, started in early 2024, and the shop hasn't been open that long, since like 23. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And obviously, like I make videos for my like Instagram and then for my clients and stuff like that. So making videos isn't that difficult for me. I haven't edited like much videos as far as like using CapCut and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, after like going through that program, I'm like, okay, this seems pretty legit. I was like, I'll check it out. And then I signed up for the meeting, and I was like, okay, and I looked at all the reviews that you guys had on. All the reviews were solid. And so I was like, okay, maybe I want to give this a shot. Like, you know, I've been praying a lot for my financial situation. Maybe this is something where like he's leading me in the right direction, and I should just go for it. So
absolutely. I appreciate this a lot. It's a very smart, in-depth answer. It really is. So I want to ask, I guess like if this were to all work out, what would be your goals with this? And maybe like short term, maybe like 90 days, 120 days, 3 months from now. How much would you want to be making? What would you want to be doing different? What is the goal here? Is it to replace your income? Is it to add on to your income? I mean, whatever it is.
I don't want to stop being a personal trainer because I love doing that, and it's something that's really nice because my schedule's flexible and I can do it kind of on the side and kind of make my own schedule. I'd like to add on to that, and honestly, like, because I mean, I don't make much money now, but I would like to make. I mean, starting out with this, like at least like $4,000 a month.
Oh yeah, how much do you make? How much do you make right now?
Right now, I'm making probably like $2,200 a month, like barely scraping by. Yeah.
Has that been going on for a while, or is that like a recent thing?
No, it's been going on for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're taking care of yourself, or yourself and your girlfriend?
Myself and my girlfriend at the moment. She just applied for a job, but I would love to support her.
100%.
She has stage 3 pancreatic cancer, and I'd love to not like have to work to like make it by. And so I would love to be able to support myself and then support her also if I can, to where she doesn't have to work and go 100%. Through pain, all that stuff. So
100%. How much money would you have to be making to be able to do that comfortably?
I would say monthly at least like $8,000.
Okay.
I would
for sure.
Yeah.
Have you in a previous job made that before or no?
No, never in my life.
Never. Okay. So you've been making this $2,200 for a little while. What about a year, 2 years, or?
I've been doing probably because it fluctuates because the right. Like you have people come and go, and so I made a point where I was like $3,400 a month, and then I'd have clients drop, and it dropped back down, and then I'd have somebody join, So roughly, like a rough median is probably anywhere from 22 to 2,600 is what I'd be making for the past like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
When I was at Best Buy, I stopped full time and I was part time on the weekends, just doing sales, and that would kind of help me make some extra income. So I'd be making anywhere from like
door to door.
Do what now?
Like door to door.
No, not door to door. I would be in the store, but I'd be selling like customers coming in the store and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, more recently, I have a couple questions for the last 3 years, 2,200, 2,600 even. How are you getting by on that, man?
It's tricky. I've done some like side gigs where I do like Favor or DoorDash or stuff like that. And I don't want to, I've been marketing myself and putting flyers out, putting business cards out to like nutrition shops and stuff like that. And the owners of the business of the gym, you know, they send me clients and my rates are very cheap. Like I don't charge, you know, anything crazy. My rates are probably one of the cheapest rates you can find in a trainer. And I know I'm like trying to,
Why
I know
not?
my worth.
Why not charge more and try and, you know, make more money from it?
I would like to charge more, but I know in today's economy and everything, not a lot of people can
Stop.
afford that. And like personally, I see myself as like a really good trainer, probably one of the better ones in that building. There's probably a handful of us. And I think it's a breath of fresh air when someone comes in, they're a good trainer and their rates are reasonable and they're not charging, you know, $1,000, $1,200 a month.
Right. But I guess even then, I mean, how many clients do you have right now?
Right now, I have like 7.
Okay. If you were to stick it out for another 3 years, like you've already been doing it for 3 years, do you see yourself getting to that 8-10 grand point ever with this, or
with the training?
Right.
I would probably say at most maybe like 45.
Okay.
45.
Have you been there so far or no?
No, the most I've made was around $3,500 a month.
Okay. Yeah, and even if you got to the 4,500, I mean, it seems like a decent amount of money, but it gets used, man. It's tough.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's definitely tough.
Honestly, I don't know how this in today's world how I've been scraping by, but I had to, since I got laid off from Best Buy, I went ahead and I cashed out my 401k and used that to help kind of be like a little buffer.
Right.
That's helped a lot. So.
Okay. And again, I mean, if you weren't able to move forward with anything else and you had to stay in the exact same spot that you were, and you just had to keep doing what you're doing, is that something that you'd be fine with? Like, you'd be fine just staying, making, hopefully, even if you got to that 4,500 point, I mean, is there a future there for you? Like, we're talking next 10, 15 years, supporting a family, then, I mean, you're probably gonna, how long have you and your girlfriend been together?
We've been together almost a year.
Okay, so hopefully engaged in the next 3-4 years, and then
right,
you gotta support a family. I mean, do you see it staying there for a long time? Or?
Man, money wise, it's difficult, but probably not money wise. But I love doing it, and honestly, ultimately, I would love to switch to only online, to where I won't have to meet clients in person and just do it online and over the phone, send them videos, send them audio messages, critique their technique, stuff like that. Which I'm hoping with this business,
help you out.
It would help also, because I know this is online, having online clientele, and it would kind of work hand in hand.
Right, for sure. But you feel like you'd need to add on to your income, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, 100%. Now, before we were here talking, did you look into any other ways? I know you like anything else online, or even in person, whatever, to just make more than you are right now, hopefully.
I really didn't want to do like the whole DoorDash or stuff like that. I mean, because you don't make a lot of money doing that, you know. So
yeah.
Not really that. In person, other than Best Buy, ever since I got laid off from Best Buy, I'm not really about retail. So honestly, other than what I've seen here, because this has been like the most legitimate thing that I found so far.
But have you been searching?
Not much, to be honest. And a lot of the stuff that I see when I go to like the comment section, stuff like that, on like the TikTok shops, or like, you know, starting your own little business, or like stop here, click here. It's not as in depth as what I saw with was posting.
And that's probably why when you saw this, you were way more intrigued. You're kind of more, you know, like excited about it. Right?
It's that he was talking about, man.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Right. So I want you to walk me through. If you were able to, let's say in the next like 3-4 months, like let's say 120 days from now, you were able to bring income from this, and you're making, let's say, even just an extra like $5,000 to $8,000 a month. But let's say you're just making an extra 5 to 8. Would your life be any like different right now, or not really?
Oh, it'd be 100% different.
How so?
Oh, I'd pay off my car. I would have a lot of money left over after my mortgage, after my, you know, all my bills that I have to pay. I'd have a lot, you know, left over that I can use to actually, you know, go out. We can go out, like have dinner, you know, something like that. We can go out and do like a lot of fun stuff. So it would change big time, and hopefully saving enough to where I can move out of this house eventually and find something a little bit better.
Definitely. And we can focus on all these like outside things, but the most important thing to me is like, would you feel any different than you do right now, or?
Oh, I'd be much less financially stressed, that's for sure. Or I'd be much less like, you know, instead of like going out to dinner, let's just like stay in. Like, I would love to do this, or oh man, I don't know if I can afford this. Like, my electric bill is this much this month. This is gonna suck. You know, if I was a little bit more financially stable, it wouldn't be as bad. Yes, I'd still want to save money, but it wouldn't nearly be as stressful as like, oh crap, here's another $200 payment, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. So, I mean, that sounds amazing. It does sound awesome. I want to get you to a point where you are there, and I know that we can get you there, which is why I'm excited. Obviously, you don't yet, which is why I have all this stuff to show you in a few minutes. But again, I mean, to bring it back down to reality a little bit, how are the chances of you getting to that point where you're making like $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 a month if you like were to stay in the exact same position you are right now and you weren't able to switch or add in any other way?
Do you mean with like my current business?
If you were to stay in the exact same position that you were right now, you're not going remote, you're not doing the same exact position.
Like, how likely would it be?
Yeah.
Honestly, making like that 5 to 8, probably not likely. Like, if I had to say, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like it would be 100%, I would probably say it's maybe around a 4.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we do need to make some sort of change. You're obviously not willing to settle for that, right?
Right. Yeah. I still love what I do. I still love training people.
No, 100%.
But like financially, I want it to work out, but I'm trying to be realistic, and I don't think it in the long run it would be
right.
Very difficult, if anything, or it would probably not happen.
Right. And that's very smart of you. And the best probably case scenario is for you to be able to do both, where you're doing fitness for fun. Obviously, it is a really fun thing. You know, it's something awesome. A lot of the brands that we have inside of our program for you to be able to work with are all supplement related, whether it's creatine, whether it's something for weight loss, whether it's something for muscle growth, a lot of stuff like that you'd be able to be partnered with instantaneously. But I mean, let me ask you a couple more things real quick, and in the next like 3-4 minutes, we'll dive into everything. And this question, I don't ask it specifically for you. I ask it because I speak to so many people, and I ask everybody this question. But I mean, like, it's a pretty important one. Like, why is this important to you now, though, instead of pushing it back another 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 years, like most average people would do?
And that's a good question. Honestly, I think it's just that time in my life.
Right.
Like I'm 29 years old, so I'm a little bit older than like some people like from when I was like 21, 22, but I'm 29. I'd like to make, a little bit better of a living like I'm supposed to be making. And I feel like right now, like after kind of like what I was telling you, like it's a sign from God. I'm thinking just like, hey, just go for it. Like this is like a door that's opening. Kind of like when I got laid off from my job at Best Buy a few months ago, and I like a door open for me to go back into in-person coaching, and it was starting to get successful at that stagnant point. And so I'm like, okay, I got to kind of revert back and kind of think things through. And so kind of going back to this, you know, I'm thinking this is just like another avenue to go through. And so I think it's just time, like the time in my life to do it.
Right. 100%. Okay, perfect. I like it. Obviously, it's something that you're passionate about, something that you need at this current moment, and it's something that you aren't willing to put off, which is a big thing. But the fact that this is something that is urgent to you and you're smart enough to realize that time goes by, you're never going to get it back, is very, very good in itself. Okay. And the fact that you need this as well, and it's something that you're passionate about, I can tell that it's something that if you were to come in, you would put that work in. You wouldn't be somebody who quits after a week. Right. And for those two and other things as well, I mean, I think you'd be a great fit. Now, obviously, coming from my mouth doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you all this. I'm going to show you how other people are doing. I'm going to show you what you're going to get, and I'm going to leave it up to you. And I'm going to ask you after I show you all this, I'm going to be like, hey, you know, does Chris really feel like this is something that can help him reach those goals? Because that's what's important. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it up to you in the end. But I'm going to pull up, I'm going to show you it. We can figure out the rest. But first off, I want to say, do you have any other questions for me? Anything like that?
So from here, like what's the next step as far as like future calls or like getting set up and stuff like that?
So first I need to get your student profile set up, make sure that you have everything ready to go so that we can get you inside, get you on the calls, everything like that. And then we can handle the tuition, all that stuff. But what I need from you is, you have my phone number.
Yep.
I texted you right as you were joining. If you could text me your first and last name, your email, and your phone number. I know I'm texting you on your phone number, but if you could text me all that stuff, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to input it into our student portal.
Gotcha. Can I do that right now?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
And as you're doing that, I'm going to set up everything else.
Okay.
Ready. Have you ever used Klarna or Afterpay before?
Say that again.
Have you ever used Klarna or Afterpay before?
I have not. No.
No problem. It'll take a few minutes to set up.
Okay. Okay. You said name, email, and then phone number again, right?
Exactly. Full name,
gotcha.
Email, and phone number. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy that and input it into our student portal for you, so you can have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I just sent it.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm going to get all of that taken care of. Now what we have to do, I'm going to send this link in the chat for you. Okay? I want you to click that link. Do you see that?
I do. Yep. Clicking on it right now.
So you're going to have to put your email in, and then you're going to click Klarna. It's like a little K. Let me know if you see that.
Okay. Let me see. Here. Klarna. Yeah, I see Klarna right there.
Perfect. So you're going to put your email in, you're going to put pay with Klarna, you're going to put your name in, and then you're going to click complete. It's not going to charge you. You didn't put your card in or anything. What it's going to do is it's going to redirect you over to Klarna, and it's going to have you answer just a few questions to see what because it's case by case what you're going to get approved for. Let's hope that you get approved for the $0 down.
Okay.
That would be amazing. But if you don't, it would be a couple $100 and we'd usually get you in. The good thing about financing, I'll be honest with you, I recommend financing for people who even have the full $4,000 liquid, or even if they have $10,000, whatever it may be. I recommend it because because of the retainers that these brands are going to be giving you. Say it's $900 a month, which is like the lowest end of the stick. It pays for itself essentially as you go. If you get 3 retainers, $900 a month, and you're paying $300 a month, or you're paying $600 a month, whatever it is, doesn't matter. It's paying for itself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is what I like about that.
Does that money go straight to the Klarna like payments?
Does what money?
The so like the retainer. Let's say it's like the $300 for the 3 brands, so it's $900 a month, and like the payment plan is.
I gotcha.
$300.
It wouldn't. It would go straight to your bank account. All that stuff goes straight to your bank account. You would just deduct and use it to pay monthly.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, let's see. It looks like. Let's see. All right, looks like the lowest I got is 203 a month for 24 payments.
Okay. Is it zero down, or are they asking for something up front?
No, it looks like, let's see. No, it looks like there's nothing up front. There's a pretty high interest rate, but I mean that's probably expected. So interest is, it just gives me a range 7.9 to 33.9%.
Okay. The reason I'm
Okay, let me get my card real quick here.
No problem. While you're doing that, I'm going to set up everything inside your student portal for you. So we'll make
Cool.
sure everything's ready to go.
All right, let me see here.
You're in Texas. I would assume you're a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, Cowboys fan. Man, this year, I don't know though, man.
That's not your year this year, you don't think?
It's not. No, my dad's a huge Cowboys fan too. He has a Cowboys tattoo on his shoulder. And this is the first year in like 35 years that he hasn't watched the draft, hasn't watched any highlights, hasn't watched any conferences. He is just pissed at Jerry Jones and everything. And
Yeah, I don't think
honest,
you guys didn't make any moves, right? Or anything like that
No,
over the offseason.
nothing. Honestly, nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
I have Giants blankets and bed sheets on my bed, so
Giants fan, I got you.
I'm not even kidding. I sleep in a Giants bed.
Nice.
But I
Oh,
can
my
respect it.
Yeah,
There's,
my girlfriend, she's from Connecticut, so she's got to transition to be a Cowboys fan, unfortunately.
Oh man, there's Cowboys fans everywhere nowadays. There's in my school, 90% of the people are Cowboys fans. It feels like they are. It feels